Hi everyone, welcome back to Home and Away with Candy. Thanks for stopping back by. If you're new here, welcome. Today we are in the card room, in the craft room, having a card class. So if you want to see some sunflower cards, just stick around. We are going to be focusing today on the 3D sunflower embossing folder. I've got several techniques to showcase on how you can utilize this embossing folder in some really neat ways. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And just a reminder real quick, bonus days is happening now through the end of February 28th. So that's just the end of this week. If you're watching this over the weekend, it may be too late already. So if you have any coupons, get those redeemed before the 28th. Also, that last chance product list was updated, so check that out. There's some good deals on some cardstock designer series paper that is about to rotate out, and some other good products. I got the Tractors and Company stamp set and die cuts, and made a little card for my nephew this weekend, and I think it turned out real well. So maybe we'll do a class on that soon. Of how to use some of those die and stamp sets along with that. So that is in the last chance products as of the last time I looked. So take a look there, see if there's anything that you have had your eye on but just didn't quite want to get it yet. So take a look there. And also now through the end of March 2nd, if you sign up as a demonstrator, you will get the free Stampin' Positioner along with the starter kit. So that's a really nifty incentive to sign up to be a demonstrator. I have really enjoyed being a demonstrator. I do not hold any in-person parties or classes like that, at least thus far. And I've really enjoyed being able to create what I want with Stampin' Up. So it's been an enjoyable time since I signed up to be a demonstrator. So that join offer is going on, like I said, through March the 2nd. So got the business out of the way, and now we can focus on why we're here today, which is the Stampin' Up 3D Sunflower Embossing Folder. So this is a really large embossing folder. Let's see, get our measurements here. This is almost 8.5 by 6. So it's a really large embossing folder. And we are going to focus on several different techniques. So I've got here, we're going to do some, some painting, if you will, from our stamp pads. This is the same technique, just one step further with the painting on it. We have got some inking of white paper with this embossing folder, and then we have some colored paper that we are going to put white on. So those are the 3 different techniques that we're going to go over today. So let's go ahead and get started. Which one do you want to start with? Let's just do the one that's closest to me, which is this one. I have my little piles here next to me for our cards here. So we're going to start with this very pretty technique of coloring. So I have already prepared our embossed paper. I cut it first and then sent it through. You can position your paper in here according to your vision. This one, you can see the sunflower is facing up. So this would likely be the top of the card, or if you wanted to do it sideways and be up, I think that would make a really nice. Maybe that's what we'll do, except we're going to be on the reverse for this class, for this one. Maybe put our sentiment over here in this section. So let's get started. We're gonna need our black ink. I have a Ranger archival ink pad, and it's about dry. Let me see if I have another Yeah, I have a new one. It's not Ranger, it's Recollections. Yeah, this came from Michael's, I'm pretty sure. And so you're going to take the indented side is going to be facing down because we are going to ink the raised bits that are behind. And I cannot get this open. My goodness. There we go. All right, so what we're going to do is, you can see here, some of my lines were showing a little bit where I was kind of pressing a little bit hard because my pad was about dried out. So just be strategic in the way that you ink your paper. And we're just going to drag it across. And where you pass through multiple times, you may get some stronger lines. It's okay to do some swirls. Maybe, you know, swirl it in a way that looks like it's part of the paper. Whoops, we're getting a little too deep here. Just very lightly cover your paper there, just so we get those outlines. And this black almost has a more brownish tint to it. Yeah, black. Okay. All right, so I have my little ink daubers here. I have Strawberry Slush and Old Olive. And I am going to start with I think I'm going to start with the Old Olive. So I'm just going to daub it into my stamp pad. And we're just going to just gently place our ink where we want it, and hopefully not the places we don't want it. Kind of tilt your finger to the side if you're getting into some delicate areas, and not all areas need to be colored. You know, if you think about nature, you have darker sections and lighter sections. We'll do this stem down here. When I was thinking about this pink color, I was thinking more like Black-Eyed Susans instead of sunflowers. So you can kind of make this your own, as always. Kind of do some side shading there. And we'll say that these back here are leaves. And we'll say that that's a leaf. It's kind of hard to tell once it gets out here in the world. All right. And so now let's take our Strawberry Slush. I'm getting up here in the juicy part. Again, I'm going to start in the middle because usually with flowers, it's darkest right by the middle. Then I'm just gonna, you can either come straight out or do some swirls. And I do have my graphing paper underneath so that we can make a mess and it's okay. I think this contrast just makes such a strikingly beautiful card. to find a different spot. My ink's not wanting to get on my dauber. Just have fun with it. See what you can create with this technique, because I still see new things with it and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And it's all just with the same embossing folder. So there we go. There's that part. And now let's think about coloring the middle. On my example here, I used a brown marker to do, I'm sorry, that wasn't in the frame very well, to do the middle, but it's not, with the black, it's not the right contrast. So I'm going to try using my dauber in the ink that I used for the base. Maybe, if I can get this back open. Is there a trick that I don't know about? I've never used Recollections ink before, and so wasn't quite sure how to make it work the best. I don't know if I like that darkness or not. All right, and let me get this ink covered up, or we'll have ink everywhere. Okay, get my card base here, and I'm going again with a black card base. I just think it makes a strikingly beautiful card. So I'm just using my AdTech tape runner. You may want to give it just a little more around the edges than you normally would, because it's crinkly, just to kind of help hold it down. I'm gonna flatten that back out. Get our margins where we want them. Oh, we're a little heavy on the left. I think we're gonna stay a little heavy on the left. That's okay. Flip it over, get that adhesive down real good. There we have that. And I was thinking about doing white, let's see, where's my stamp pad? It's over here with my other, because we're going to use it. This was my white pigment ink, Glacier White. We're going to use on one of the other techniques of putting that here with a strawberry slush ribbon, which is here. But it was also almost dried out, so I did not attach it yet. But my thoughts were, if you could leave it perfectly like this and it would be fine. You could also layer some strawberry slush ribbon, and you can, do it back and forth like so, or just a little zigzag with a thank you kind of right there in that space. But like I said, I'm not going to attach it yet. I'm not pleased with how faint my craft white is here on the black, but that is certainly, if you have embossing tool, and you could certainly emboss a thank you or whatever your sentiment is on there, and that would look fantastic as well. So this is technique number 1. And so here I have the black, and this is the Recollections. I think I like the crisper look of this one. This one looks more muddy to me. And then this is just this same technique without any coloration to it at all. And then this was what that glacier white looked like when it was new. And then I just have a little white ribbon here at the bottom. So thinking of you. So that's technique number 1. And get these out of the way. Okay, we are ready for technique number 2. So this is where we're going to take our ink and we're going to ink the raised bits of the embossing folder, or of the paper that has gone through the embossing folder. So let me make sure we're clear on that. My sentiment for this one just says hugs, and this is from, I think it's from Inked Occasions. Yes. This was from the Paper Pumpkin Inked Occasions stamp set. I use Thinking of You, Congratulations, and Hugs from this all the time. It's one of my go-tos. So I have our Early Espresso ink, have Daffodil Delight. I have our Early Espresso piece that goes across the side. This is a 1.5 by 4, I believe. I cut it just a little bit longer so that I could lay it across and trim it up. Here's our sunflowers, and then I have a Daffodil Delight card base, and then we're going to cut some circles from that. Let me get my white ready to cut circles too. All right, so I'm going to set Early Espresso to the side and take our Daffodil Delight. Kind of going to do the same thing where you're just going to take your stamp pad and just lightly drag it across. And you can switch sides. Try to just kind of, let's see, is there any place I want to kind of redo? Now you can tell I did this one a while back and my ink was a lot more evenly distributed than it is right now in my ink pad. So you might want to just keep that in mind. There. Oh, that's pretty. I kind of like the uneven distribution of it. It just gives it a lot of depth. Maybe just a little more through here. There we go. And all I did was drag it across. As this dries, it may look more like that. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's see. Oh, we need our Early Espresso. So we're going to attach this. I could do it there to cover up my line, but that's awfully far down. But I don't mind it. How far can we go? Right there's where it's at. Okay, let's get this a little bit in the middle, and we'll roughly do it right there. Right there. Line it up here on our graph paper since we have it available. There we go. Are we attached enough? Is it too wet? Maybe too wet yet. You know what? Let's add some liquid glue to this too. The liquid glue may not want to stick. I can't remember if I let this dry previously before I adhered. Scooch that over. There, that feels better. It feels like it's not going anywhere. All right, while that dries, let's get our holes punched. Circles punched, not holes. This is the 2 3/8 circle punch. And I also have somewhere, yeah, here it is, my 2-inch circle punch. And we are going to take the Love and Courage stamp set. We're going to take the sunflower out of it. And we are going to use the petals. I might better stamp my sentiment first. That way I know. And hugs can be for a lot of different things. There we go, hugs. Oh, it kind of smeared a little bit. Let's flip it over. That's why you always want to stamp before you adhere, right? Okay, now then. So we're going to ink up our petals, and very carefully, if you remember where you inked your petals, we're just going to hit the edge. I think 3 places. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to use some dimensionals to give this some height. I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my card base. Like I said, be generous. I usually don't try to overdo it, but I'm going to make sure it stays where it's supposed to. And as you can see in my sample, I did a white base on the card, and so I wanted to see what it would look like with the Daffodil Delight in the background. So we're going to put that right there. Get our embellishments. I don't know if I still have, I think I used, this is what I used. This is the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. And let's see, I put one, let's see, we've got 3 different sizes. Yeah, I think so. Put 2 down here. And it's really nice, oops, that these are clear because they show through really nicely the color cardstock that, oops, I guess that's where that one's staying. The adhesive stayed right there, but that's fine. It makes this look brown, and you can see the brown flecks, the gold flecks in there. So there we have card number 2. Of course, I put a white card panel in here. You can layer that with your old espresso to make a really nice layered effect with your inside greeting. But there is technique number 2, where we're inking the raised parts of the sunflower embossing folder. So let's get that out of the way. Put my jewels, as my daughter calls them, back where they go, so we know where they are next time. And we are ready for card number 4. So here I have this Glacier White Pigment ink pad. Sentiment that I'm going to use today is Happy Birthday. This is from the Labeled with Love stamp set that was from about a year ago. And here I have done 2 different methods, not 2 different methods, but, actually it was 2 different methods. On the pink card, I inked the embossed side, the side that was facing up. On the orange card, I did like we did with the black, where I inked the back side to where the petals look sunk down. But overall, the rest of the card is the same. We have the 1.5 inch banner. We have some sheer ribbon. This came probably from, oh, does it say? No, probably Michael's or Joann or Hobby Lobby, because I still have some ribbon that I got at Joann. And this sentiment is from Beautiful Butterflies, which I also use a lot. The Hello and Time to Celebrate I use very often. I use Time to Celebrate as my internal greeting a lot for birthday cards. And so same technique here, using the sunflower of the Hope and Courage stamp set to add a little pizzazz to our sentiment. So let's get this going. I have this is Melon Mambo. I have Night of Navy. We're going to do Night of Navy ink on the sentiment. I forgot to get it down, so there's that. And here's our Melon Mambo. And let's move the black out of the way and find the white. I just had it. We just looked at it. Oh my goodness. It's right there. Huh, sorry folks. It was right there in front of me. So it's going to be the same technique that we've been using, in that we're going to rake our ink pad across. And let's see, I think I want to do the petals up. So I'm going to take my pad, and hopefully it's still got enough in it to actually do this. Ooh, maybe drier is better for this. I really like that. Doesn't lay down as much. Yeah, I like that. I'm just going to stop there. Put my cover back on my white. I need to get another one. All right, so that was easy peasy, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to have our sample right here for us. We need our Night of Navy and our ribbon. So I'm going to lay down some adhesive wrap my ribbon to where it's in the middle. And we're gonna trim that. Whoop. Stuck there. All right, since I don't think this is, I think this will stick just fine, but just for grins and giggles, we're just gonna go ahead and use some, oof, that's too much, some liquid glue. Did you guys know that there's a paint tip on this end? I didn't for the longest time. I'm not squeezing right now. I'm just spreading it out. All right. I want my sunflower head facing up, so this will kind of cover up that spot that has a little too much going on with it. And I'm just gonna give this some good pressing. Okay, I think we're good. I have a Melon Mambo card base here, and you can see here I did the white, and with my Clemson color one I also did it on white. I believe this is pumpkin pie that I did this on, and gorgeous grape here with the gorgeous grape dots and gorgeous grape ink. So I am a Clemson graduate, and so I wanted to make some cards that fit that theme. And but I also love pink and navy. I think it just goes so well together to make a great contrast, and it's just beautiful in my opinion. I know there are different color palettes for different folks. So we're generously laying down the adhesive again. We'll just put some in the middle just for extra support. Oh, I didn't tell you how big I cut my paper. I cut it at 4 and 5 1/4, so just a 1/4 inch smaller. The embossing folders do kind of make it a little smaller, so just keep that in mind, that if you want it to go more to the edge, you may need to cut your piece just a little bit bigger. So there we have that. We're going to do some more circles. And maybe I can squeeze one in here. Oh, nope. We're gonna have to trim off. And I have a punch that I think will fit there, so I'm not gonna throw that away till I punch that. Okay, get one going right here. There's our punch number 1. And then let's get some Melon Mambo going. Oh, you know, you could also punch the paper that you've embossed. I have a piece here. What would that look like? That might be something I play around with some other time. Won't hold you guys here while I do that. Right, instead of hello, we're going to do happy birthday with this one. And what I love about this technique with the embossing folder is that it's not using any design series paper. You're creating your own paper with whatever cardstock you happen to have on hand. And you can make it fit any person, and with the colors that you use, any occasion. And I just think that's really cool. So Melon Mambo, you know what? I need to clean the yellow off our sunflower. My chamois is wet. It's so dry here in my basement that My chamois feels almost dry. All right, so we're going to ink our flowers. I'm going to give myself just a little bit more grace by inking the flowers a little bit further around. Let's do one right there. And just a little bit there. Just a touch. Ooh, man, sometimes I don't pay attention to what I'm doing. I like that. All right, I'll clean that off here in a little bit. But this is a beautiful stamp. If you've not seen it, let me see if there's enough ink on here. There's none on this other side. I'm disappointed that this does not fit my largest circle punch. But it just creates the most beautiful stamp. Support, strength, heart, faith, resolve, fight, hope, courage, survivor, and believe. This is a particularly breast cancer themed stamp set. It came out during October, during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and my mom is a breast cancer survivor, and so that's something that we're passionate about, is making sure that there is knowledge and information about that out there. So this is something near and dear to us, and I just love the way this comes together. Using this stamp set along with this card. Now, you could certainly use this as your sentiment on here in some manner. That would be really cool. All right, we're going to put this right there. We're going to do Stampin' Dimensionals. Wonder if I would have been smart, I would have made sure that one of my dimensionals was hitting that ribbon. I think maybe it is. Surely one of them is, right? I think that one is right there. And let's get our jewels out. Ooh, glossy dot assortment. That is what we used. Is that too much? Is that the right pink? Almost looks too much. I think this is what I used on this card. Yes, it is. This is the Strawberry Slush. Even though this is Melon Mambo, I'm using the Strawberry Slush. Oh, goodness. But it looks perfect. Looks the perfect color on my end. Let's see, let me get these back in here. All right, and there we have it. The third technique in our card class today, using the 3D sunflower embossing folder. I hope you have enjoyed today's class. I hope that you will take what you've learned and create something new. If you've never tried this before, I'm sure it works with other embossing folders. I have a new one here. I've never tried it. I've actually not even used it on a card. This is the brand new embossing folder from Stampin' Up, and I'm trying to find the name of it. Here it is. The Beautiful Pattern Embossing Folder. That's what this is. So, we'll just try it real quick. What color should we do? Ooh, pool party. I was thinking about using this on a pool party card. So we'll see how this works. Not quite as striking. I mean, there's too many flat bits, I think. So there we go. We experimented. We found out that we don't like that. So now we just figure it out. And the back side is probably, yeah, not quite the same effect. Oof. Ooh, oh. Oh. What do you think about that? The paper is really grabbing the ink. So that's could be problematic. It might be using all of my pool party ink. Probably at this point, you just want to send your pool party through the embossing folder. That's what you should do there. I wonder, since we're playing, oh, I don't see my brush. Well, I was going to take my brush and see what that would look like, but it has walked away. So I guess we won't do that this time. But now you know not to do this if you don't want to use all your pool party ink and come up with that result. So thank you for joining, everyone. I hope you had a great time today, and I hope to see you back here next time for our next card class. See you soon. Bye.